And a very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Lord with the Monday, November 24th edition of the CBC Evening News. And our top story tonight. Minister of Drainage and Environment Dr. Dennis Lowe has responded to the call by the gays, lesbian and all sexuals against discrimination to resign. He was speaking at a press conference earlier today.
The only call for my resignation that matters is the call from the Prime Minister. If the Prime Minister calls me tomorrow and says, Minister, I am revoking your appointment as Minister of the Crown, then that would cause me concern, really. But if someone, let me give it to you as simple as possible. If someone who has freely expressed their view on how the society ought to be, without any consequence, and someone responds and expresses his or her view of how the society ought to be, who has committed the crime?
Minister Lowe says as a Christian he cannot condemn anyone.
And I stand by my word. I will not recant from my conscience. My conscience is like my skin. Can't walk away from it. So just as anybody has the right to have a gay relationship, and whether it is in Barbados or they say go to France, that's their choice, and that's their right. God will be the judge. But if I say that I'm not complying with any such request or practice, isn't that my right?
Immigration authorities and other law enforcement agencies will have to change their procedures if they are to handle human trafficking effectively. This from Attorney General and Minister of Home Affairs, Adriel Brathwaite.
It's been a culture change in terms of immigration, whose initial training was, if someone is here illegally, we need to get them out of Barbados. Now you're being told, but if this person is a victim of trafficking, your responsibility is not to deport them. Your responsibility is to work with us to see how we can provide them with the best support structure possible. That's been a bit of a culture change for you, and that's why you've been exposed to the training over the last 2 years.
The minister's comments came at a workshop held at the Accra Beach Hotel, where strategies were being discussed to combat human trafficking. While not on a large scale, the minister says Jamaica, Honduras, Bahamas and Haiti are countries faced with human trafficking. Mr. Brathwaite says Barbadians and the rest of the Caribbean need to understand human trafficking in the region is real.
It is a real issue for us in this region. My information is that as a region we have not seen the smuggling of organs, but certainly the smuggling of people is something that that in a Barbadian context, in a Caribbean context, in a CARICOM context, that we have to accept that it does occur.
Police and fire officials are investigating the cause of an early morning blaze which has left a St. George man homeless. According to reports from the fire service, Matthew Batson was not at his Flat Rock home when the blaze broke out around 12 minutes to 1 this morning. 2 tenders from Bridgetown and St. John fire stations responded with 7 officers under the command of Station Officer Gordon Boxill. The wooden structure and its contents all went up in smoke. However, fire officials were able to prevent any other homes from being damaged. While Barbadians are now paying 5 cents less for gasoline, from midnight last night, the retail price of gasoline dropped from $3.62 to $3.57 per litre. The price of diesel fell by 9 cents, moving from $2.87 to $2.78, while the retail price of kerosene is now 14 cents less at $1.61, down from $1.75. Government has a mechanism in place to adjust petroleum prices in a more timely fashion, whereby prices will be regulated by the Ministry of Commerce and Trade on the advice of the Division of Energy and Telecommunications. This mechanism is now in use, and price changes will fall or rise more frequently in accordance with the imported price of petroleum products. Police are yet to make an arrest in connection with 2 suspected murders which occurred last week. This as investigations continue into the unnatural deaths of 49-year-old Martin Graves of Half Moon Fort St. Lucie and 33-year-old Mark Walton of Fitz Village in St. James. Around midnight on Friday, Graves was stabbed during an altercation with an unidentified man. Meantime, Walton was at a bus shed near his home on Monday night around 11 when he was attacked by 2 men. One of them reportedly shot him and fled the scene. Well, MCTV wishes to inform its subscribers that our engineers are working to resolve the no access message being received on a number of MCTV channels. We expect normal viewing of those channels to return within the next 12 to 24 hours, and MCTV apologizes for any inconvenience caused. We'll have more news ahead in just a moment, but first we want to get your take on this question. Do you think we need to construct new roads in St. Andrew? Text yes or no to short code 8111. The result at the end of the news.
Attention! No sticks, no stones can break my bones when I'm drinking.
Pine Hill Milk. I sent a text to the economic program, and then I got a call saying that I was a winner. This system is beautiful. For baths, it is excellent. I want to thank SunPower for this wonderful gift and giving back to the community. And I want to say again, thanks very much to Economics and SunPower, and I encourage everyone to watch the show. You too can be a winner.
RBC Films presents the biggest blockbuster this Christmas. Meet The Burrows. Dad needs a new car. Mom needs a vacation. The boys need a new room. The daughter needs to go to film school. What will the loan be used for? Go online to vote for your favorite ending for a chance to win a prize. Come into RBC, take a loan and get reduced interest rates, plus a chance to win one of 3 Samsung Galaxy S5 phones. Get everything you want this Christmas and more with a loan from RBC. Special conditions apply. RBC Royal Bank. Strength at work for you.
Reminisce and bring back the memories. Comey presents Wrap Yourself from the Flag, Saturday, November 29th at Kensington Oval from 9 p.m. Wear your national colors and celebrate your nationhood with the Troubadours International. Promise, Mr. Dale, Richard Stout, Tony Grisette, Carolyn Leacock, and from New York, Lou Jake Skirton. Tickets on sale at Ticket Pal box offices at $48. Get your early bird and Bart member tickets at $40. Wrap yourself from the flag, a night of patriotic nostalgia.
Well, it may be too early to tell how heavy rainfall over the last few days has affected local farmers. Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Agricultural Society, James Paul, says assessments are being carried out to see if farmers will be able to meet demand for fruits and vegetables over the Christmas season.
Tomorrow we should be able to give a more definitive answer in terms of what consumers can expect from farmers during the Christmas vacation, especially when it relates to fruits and vegetables. We have to do the surveys. We know that usually around this time when you get these heavy rains, the blossoms are knocked off the trees, and that could affect crops, tomatoes. But, you know, it's still too early to say. We still have to do our surveys to see exactly what is the situation out there in relation to fruits and vegetables. So when we get that, we should be in a better position to make an assessment.
Speaking to CBC ahead of a press conference planned for tomorrow at the BAS headquarters, Mr. Paul said the society is launching AgroFest this week.
There are some different things that we're doing in relation to AgroFest next year, and we will hope to officially announce those to the public. We're doing some special initiatives in the schools because we're looking in a very special way to involve the school children in AgroFest next year, and we're looking for different prizes for them. To make participation even more rewarding than it has been in the past. We're also looking to utilize AgroFest as a learning tool for children within the schools to better understand the contribution the agricultural sector plays within our economy.
The dialysis unit at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital is now bursting at its seams with a spike in the number of admissions over the last few weeks. News of this from Chief Executive Officer Dr. Dexter James came during a service at St. Michael and All Angels Church marking the 50th anniversary of the hospital. He revealed that over a 3-week period, the hospital admitted 25 patients for hemodialysis treatment. The situation has forced the hospital to increase daily shifts from 3 to 4 to accommodate these patients. It has brought the number of patients being served by the dialysis unit to 189 patients 6 days a week, and with shifts that run from 5:30 in the morning to 11:30 at night. And the QEH is also outsourcing services for an additional 12 patients at an annual cost of $560,000. A visiting British geneticist believes further research is needed as to why there are slim persons living with diabetes and obese people who seem to live perfect lives without the condition. She is Professor Frances Ashcroft, who is in Barbados to deliver the 39th Sir Winston Scott Memorial Lecture. That lecture comes off tonight at 8 at the Frank Collimer Hall.
So we need to understand both of those, and that will give us more information about what causes the disease in the first place. But for an individual, it's lifestyle.
And trustee of the Barbados Diabetes Foundation, Dr. Carlisle Goddard, is concerned about the ready availability of high-calorie foods to the nation's school children. He suggests that vendors who ply their trade outside of schools need to be re-educated so they can play a part in combating the problem. Well, if there's one thing missing from Barbados's tourism product, is the gentle touch it used to have. Veteran hotelier John Chandler made this observation as he launched his new book today at the Lancaster Great House over in St. James.
Everything has become so fast and thrown at you and whatever. I'm doing the things that the Ocean View did here, such as Russian service, where the vegetables are passed to you in a dish. You help yourself to what you want. Ladies are served first, always. A chair is pulled out for them. We're losing those touches everywhere, and people love it.
Mr. Johnson's book is entitled Hotel Barbados, My Life of Discretion at the Ocean View. Its foreword is by British pop icon Sir Cliff Richard, one of the many celebrities who patronize the property. The pages are filled with Mr. Johnson's many eye-opening, sometimes eyebrow-raising, and often hilarious experiences managing that hotel over the years. He tells CBC it was the people who made it particularly special.
I've never met one establishment that contains so many interesting and loving characters between the staff and the guests, all of them, you know, and people came from all over the world. They stayed 3 to 6 months. Yes, they were the retired gentry of the world, including the Caribbean, and they kept their same maid every year. Their same butler, you know, wanted the same room, and all of them wanted me to dine with them. And it was very difficult running from table to table.
Farmers are continuing to reap enormous pumpkins across the island. This time, farmer and Reverend Father Frequa LaPlante reaped a 48-pound pumpkin from the ground he tills at Hoggings Hill in St. Andrew this morning. And after finding that whopper, he was in for an even bigger surprise when he found this 72-pound pumpkin. He says he planted the pumpkins in July.
I decided that since monkeys are attacking my pumpkins, let me see which one were full enough to pick. And in searching, I came across this one here, which I had a rough time bringing up here. And when I get up here, I have this small scale here. I put it on it, and of course, it wasn't really enough to measure it. So when I went somewhere and bought a scale, I realized that it was 72.5 pounds.
Residents in Whitehill St. Andrew want to move desperately, and they're pleading with the authorities to get them out. Their cries follow the complete collapse of a road in the district over the weekend, making the area impassable to vehicular traffic. This is what is left of the road at Whitehill St. Andrew. The area is known for land slippage, and it had already been closed off for some time. The heavy rains on Friday and Saturday, however, made it much worse.
or bury somebody, they ain't gonna dig no hole. You only gonna cover them the hole already dug. Right. This is more than 6 feet down. This is about 10 feet down.
Colita Brathwaite says she's tired of complaining and getting broken promises. She says people need to be moved before something tragic happens.
I have a back problem. I can't step over there. I gotta go all around St. Andrew now to get back. We have to bring our children and lift the children over these cracks in order to get to school. The old people down here that walk in still can't get out. I have a back problem. I can't live. I can't get over there now. It is very dangerous. We can't get no water since October last year. And the people at the water authorities say that we can't get no water because of the condition of the road. From last year, October to now, we get somebody got to bring water for we. They ain't sending the truck, the garbage truck, there's 5 years the garbage truck ain't come. The postman can't come, nobody can get to us. So it's like we cut off from the rest of Barbados.
And fellow residents in the area feel the same way.
If a child or an adult have a heart attack or asthma, well, how the ambulance can get up here? How it can get up here? It can't pass up nor down.
The only thing I can tell you, it is a tough one, you know, to get in and out. So I only have to wait and see what's going to happen or what will happen.
The residents say they have not had any garbage collection in more than a month. Some homes are not getting water, and judging by an electrical pole that was smoking as we were leaving, they may also be without power soon. Dorleen Griffith showed us her home, which she has had to abandon as it is constantly moving off of its foundation. She says people are saying that residents don't want to move, but that is not true.
People are saying out there, they don't know what is going on. So they're just saying, that's word of mouth thing. The people were glad to move out.
Her sister, Jacqueline George, who lives next door, says her home is also in danger, and she's living in fear, not knowing if it will collapse on her and her family.
Behind we like pulling like the back, the gully, pulling. I got a little crack like on the cellar.
You're willing to move?
Yes, please.
Miss George showed documentation from several years ago showing that she is ready to move. When contacted, Member of Parliament for St. Andrew George Payne says he wants the authorities to correct the issue urgently.
During the past 8 years or so, we've had very little maintenance of the roads, and as a result, they are prone to disintegrate. I've never seen that particular road in the condition which it is in at the moment. And notwithstanding the fact that there are provisions to relocate some of the residents in White Hill to other areas, I believe the ministry should move swiftly to do the necessary repairs.
As far as correcting the issues in White Hill, we caught up with officials from the Ministry of Transport and Works who were touring another collapsed road over at South District in St. George. Chief Technical Officer Frank Thornhill says the situation in White Hill needs to be reassessed and officials must determine whether to rebuild the road or continue with the relocation of the residents. Regarding the road in South District, which collapsed on Saturday following heavy rainfall, Mr. Thornhill says they will be deploying a team to start work there tomorrow.
We bring a 200 excavator, and basically what we'll be doing, we'll be removing the damage, and we'll be using filter fabric and boulders basically to rebuild the road.
Now, the road was only constructed within the past few years, and questions were raised as to how a relatively new road could collapse so easily. Deputy Chief Technical Officer Philip Tudor says the road was filled with marl, which washed away, causing the road to cave in.
This is a matter of water falling and washing out, as excess water washing out the fines from under the road. There's nothing that really we could have seen beforehand that this would have happened. Right? So there's no flaw as we can see it from the road, the construction of the road itself.
And there is some relief in sight for motorists regarding a number of potholes across the country which have either appeared or were made worse by the rain. MTW officials are promising to patch them wherever they are, but they can only do that when conditions are a bit drier. And regional news is next, but first a reminder that we want to hear from you on this question. Do you think we need to construct new roads in St. Andrew? Text yes or no to short code 8111, the result at the end of the news. And you can also follow us